And Larry Krueger in for Dan Dibley along with Mark Willard.
Yeah.
And they're going to take it to 6 o'clock.
We got twins in the studio.
Was that AI comment from today?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was?
Willard,
Were you listening to us last
They can
night?
make you say, I can't stand
Yeah.
Guru, and it's not you. So now, Larry, I'm about, if I don't see it, it didn't happen. It's like,
Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, look at twins. Yeah.
We didn't even call each other last night. What are you wearing tomorrow?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Say what you want about
I
Guru.
hope it's laundry day.
But does
Is
my
that-
team
was that-
player credential go a little higher?
No, it
The fact
actually
that
it goes lower.
That I'm wearing my man's merch.
Because you've got saturated loyalty.
Larry's my Larry. I got your shirt
Oh,
on,
man.
baby. You know?
Much love, dude.
Do you have any,
Oh,
can I ask you
support.
serious- do you have any white ones? White T-shirts?
No.
Think
Can
about
I,
it.
He
can
don't
I
wear
ask you?
black
Can
stuff.
I ask you a
I'd
question?
wear a white T-shirt like that.
Actually, no,
White with the red.
If you
But he doesn't have white.
no, if you go to Crew
can
Show
order it.
on YouTube, there's a store, and you can get. I think you can get different color shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at Larry.
And sweatshirts and hoodies.
Oh.
Do you wear anything else?
Hell yes.
Because
This is
the last
uniform.
12 times I've seen you, it's been
love
that
it.
shirt.
Good shirt,
I know
Larry.
that you probably have multiple versions of said shirt.
I do.
But
I do.
you wear it a lot. I'm just pointing it out.
I do.
Okay.
I always
love
wear it
it.
when I come in here.
Like,
There you go.
it's always on the top of the drawer. When you stack 12 of them, it's always on top.
I gave one
Yeah.
to Dibs. I said, Dibs, I
got
look
one.
at you as a large, but with the boiler, I'm going to go XL.
I love it.
He took it the right way. He took it the right way.
Dibs Boiler is going to be the name of my fantasy team this year. It's going to be incredible. We're gonna
That's pretty good.
We're going to be huge.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
You know, we've been.
What's up, boys?
We started talking about Chris Paul. Met the media on
That
Saturday.
answer.
I was just reminded immediately. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't want him on the team.
Okay, why? Okay,
Golly.
how about I just play it so
Oh, boy.
we can all listen?
Nauseating.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And the,
Let's hear it.
Already?
and the audience. This is Chris Paul from Saturday.
You'd be coming off the bench playing with the second unit that's a lot younger than the Warriors of the past have been, of J.K. and Moses. Just what do you think of their depth, their bench players that you might be playing alongside?
You coaching? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what the situation is going to be yet. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be for us to figure out once we get going.
You've never come off the bench in your entire career. Is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Like I said, it'll be a conversation for us when camp starts or whatnot. But me and Steve have talked or whatnot. But that ain't something that you be like, "What up, man? Where you starting? You coming up?" You know what I mean? So I think we'll figure all that stuff out in camp.
All right. By the way, you can praise me later. Warriors World's got to have a T-shirt now that says "You coaching?"
Now
question mark.
You might be on to something.
Like I
That's
think
great.
I think that might hit it off. What do you guys think?
I don't think there's an issue there at all. I really don't.
How come he didn't say whatever?
Yeah, well,
How come he didn't answer either question?
Because he knows that's reality,
But it's a
guys, and
real-
he didn't want it to come from
No,
the
but
reporters.
but listen,
like y'all can't
young-
wait.
young
Listen to
players
the questions
cooperate.
again. Listen to the questions again. Kendra said, what do you think of the players you might be playing with? And he didn't even hear that because he was all triggered.
You
Oh, you call me a bench player? He was triggered.
That's how he took that.
And then the next question that comes to, would you be willing to come up? This is a yes or no question. And he answered it, well, Steve and I, that wouldn't come up. Nobody asked if it came up. Would you be willing to? It's a hypothetical.
Man,
you
Willard.
surly, Chris, and we don't do surly with this
he
team.
is.
Well,
We
you know,
don't do surly.
There's two kinds of media approaches. The young guy is like, hey, what can I do? I can't do enough. You know, when Patrick Baldwin
Right.
Jr. and Rollins were in studio, hey, how you doing? Let me ask you about your family. By the time you're a veteran free agent, and this is not sports specific in any sport, you spar with the media, and that's what he did there. He sparred with her. Nobody got hurt, and nothing real was involved there.
I think Guru
but
is
he
real.
just sparred with her.
I think Guru is right on the money
What
with
is-
the. So Paul gets traded to the Warriors, and it's kind of assumed he's coming off the bench,
Of course.
He's
and
irritated.
he's heard that. And
He's
he's
triggered.
like, well,
That's
what are you talking about?
He's triggered.
And so when it was brought up, he was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, we're not there yet.
And Steiny had an interesting point that if Kendra was a man, would he have answered it? I said, oh, yeah, that way, with that venom. I said, yes, because this is a man that is looking at his career and like, I'm coming off the bench. Even if he believes that, like, He's got some venom, Willard. That was like, let me breathe.
I'm always this is the way I look at it. I'm intrigued when someone is asked a question and they answer a completely different question. Okay, Jordan Poole all weekend. So, do you agree the Warriors felt like that kind of messed up the season? And he's like, I had meatloaf for dinner, and I decided to go with the mashed potatoes. It's like, what question are you answering?
But he's telling you, I don't want to answer.
So just say that. Just say, I don't want to talk about that. And I actually completely accept that. Why would Jordan Poole want to talk about that? He is in Washington now. But what are y'all trying to hide, or why are you so triggered? Like, that's how I took Chris. Chris got triggered.
It's the $250 million in the bank factor. You know, when you got a $250 million in the bank and you're not sitting there going, what? Excuse me? You know, and to me, that was a mistake by the questioner. I'm not ripping her. She does a great job. But in that situation, you're like, I think the better phrasing would be, hey, if Steve decides that he wants to bring you off the bench, you're going to be playing with these guys. How does that? Then it's like, now you're going to say, are you going to go against the coach? Don't make this about me. I'm just the questioner.
I mean, he also could have just said, whether I start or come off the bench, I'm going to be playing with everybody at some point or the other anyway. So I'm looking forward to playing with Jonathan. I think I can help,
Or emphasize, what I'd emphasize is it doesn't really matter who starts at all. It really matters just who finishes.
Exactly.
And I'm in a lot of finishing lineups. That's all I'd say.
I think he's...
Now I have follow-up questions. You are? Who's going to the bench, Chris?
I think Chris Paul's almost got to be in the finishing lineup.
We shall see.
With no doubt.
We shall see.
It may vary, but I think he's just too good a foul shooter. He's too smart. He's heady.
Boy,
the Warriors they sometimes turn it over late in games.
Sounds like a very
come on, man.
Larry,
Wow.
they go start him and go small.
That's a wee little basketball team.
They got this guy because he is the horse that can smell the wire. That's what he does, right? He can smell the finish line. He squares up those shoulders in the mid-range, and he knocks that big shot down in the closing
You
set.
guys all bought in. They got this guy because that's the only person that was being offered for Jordan Poole.
No, I think they ultimately got this guy because I think they view his expiring $30 million as maybe more valuable and more attractive to more teams than Jordan Poole's massive overpay contract that they gave him a year ago.
There's some truth to that, but he was not their first choice.
This is not a match made in heaven. And you can look at his mannerisms, Willard. He don't look like, and he was there with his lovely wife, with Steph, doing it, everything, but you could just tell it's like, damn, I'm here. And that's why he probably snapped. That was his version of snap.
To me, this is what
coaching now.
This is what everyone was worried about. I think this is what everybody was worried about.
So what do you call this? I tried to get Steiny. Give me a word. Is this a problem, Larry?
No,
it's nothing.
It's not a problem.
But we're watching.
Well, listen.
It's a pimple.
Here's the thing. Everybody was given 2 weeks to let this sink in. If this had happened the day of the announcement of the trade, everyone would be going nuts because this is exactly who we all thought Chris Paul was, and nobody wanted him on the Warriors because of that reason. And now we've spent 2 weeks sort of convincing ourselves that this is going to be great. This is all going to be great. And he showed up one time, and the very first question he got, he fired on Kendra Andrews. And we're like, no, that's okay. It's not okay. It's surly. It's totally against the Warrior locker room. And it suggests that all the convincing we've done of, well, Chris will fit in. Chris will calm down and fit in. Oh, no, he won't. He is Chris mother bleeping Paul.
Yeah, but isn't that what made him him?
So
I mean, you gotta give guys the room to be who they are.
Right,
that's who he is.
That's fine, but where's it fit? Where's that fit?
Well, but
the Warriors already have their alpha.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but a lot of times guys have a hard time coming to grips with the stages of their career. He's 38,
and that's one thing. And I want to emphasize this. Like, I know we just throw it out there, like, oh, he's. Think about it. He's been in the league 18 years. He started every game ever in the NBA.
Yep.
Like, I do get how I just got traded to the Warriors. Maybe he's like, well, I can't start for them. So this is the beginning of the end. Like, not that he doesn't know he's getting older, but it's hard for him.
Or the opposite. I just got traded to the Warriors. I wonder which one of those chumps is going to the bench.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, if he was hooked up to a lie detector test and you said, are you going to play in the fourth quarter of games? He is going to say, absolutely, I'm going to play at the finishing lineup. So I think it's not going to be a problem who starts. it's going to be a problem if he's not finishing, I think.
Yeah. Am I the only one that thought, and Steiny was like, ooh, it don't work like that, that they called him the day that the trade was consummated or the day after? Like, you're coming off the bench, you're good with that, right? Like, I thought all this had been handled, and Chris said, we ain't even talked to him. He basically said that, and that's why I was like, oh, now this could get interesting.
And I get that I get there's all kinds of lines you can use. People, it's not about the starting line, it's about the finishing. But this is Chris Paul, this is Steph Curry, this is Klay Thompson. I can go on, but those are the three guards. They're all there's only two guard spots. So you're either going to do something unconventional or somebody's going to have to do something they've never done before.
I feel like we're all sitting here going, okay, that's the new death lineup, but we're forgetting that the death lineup that worked either had names like Andre Iguodala or Kevin Durant. These are very large men. Man. These are very tall men that used to be in the death lineup to replace the supposed Kevon Looney in that lineup. And it was a season-long debate over whether or not Jordan Poole could be a part of that lineup, and some nights it was, and he worked, and some nights it didn't work, so he wasn't. So if the assumption is, the final 5 minutes, take out Looney and put in Paul, I mean, that could be a parade to the layup line for the other team.
And a loss to the Kings in the first round last year.
Jeez, what are we asking? What are we asking Draymond to do here?
They're so small.
Should be the entire front line by himself.
But they did get Dario, though. They
old.
got that one. And Steiny's like, what's he got left? And I get it because they had a little video clip on Twitter with him and Paul and their little rapport they had in Phoenix. And I was like, oh, okay. But I'm like, this ain't 2014.
Like, if
Dario Saric.
Saric better be better on that knee this year than he was last year.
Yes, he better.
Last year, he was dragging that thing around.
Man.
Pre-knee injury and post-knee injury. I mean, everybody else seems like they had these surgeries. They're unaffected. I thought there was a clear difference between Saric pre-injury and post-injury. Pre-injury,
look at Kawhi.
He's fluid,
even though he's still great, watch
Kawhi
run up and down the court. It's like he's dragging it.
Yeah, I mean, he just looks real iffy on it.
I think there might be a segment of people out there, and I know there are because I'm reading the YouTube chat, that they're saying, quit creating drama.
Oh, you're not seeing that.
There is no drama. There's no drama. But there is an impending decision that needs to be made. And it involves Chris Paul. It involves Chris Paul. And, I'm not saying if he comes off the bench, that in itself is the significant part. That's it. Wow, Chris Paul is going to come off the bench for the first time in his career. What's that mean basketball-wise? That's why it's important.
So what we're actually talking about is whether or not the Warriors have the ability to blend egos. And we're going to be accused of manufacturing drama after a season just unfolded when the Warriors were unable to blend egos.
And told us as much as why they weren't still dribbling the ball.
You're all right. It's clickbait. Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Come on.
And also,
this is real.
It's also about, and it's not just about Paul, because Klay's in this category, and probably all older players have to face this. Can you somehow handle your decline gracefully in a team setting without shooting your team out of a game, without trying to rekindle your glory days? Can you do this seamlessly? I think Klay's going to be challenged by this too.
Sometimes I know what a lot of times the players will say this, these things tend to work themselves out. Mm-hmm. Someone will be hurt.
But if it
it's right, and then someone's off, and then they tend to work themselves out, but not always.
And I also think the fascinating part to this is just
Willard.
As I was just talking to Bonte, he's like, Bonte's like, believe it or not, I'm excited for the season. I'm like, oh man, I'm super excited.
Well, when are you not? I mean, it's the Warriors.
Yes, but I'll tell you when I'm not as excited, when I know how they're going to do, during the run, Like, this is the first year where I am saying, I don't know if they're going to be better or worse next year.
It could be good or bad.
I don't know if they're going to be better or worse next year.
They should be worse.
See?
They should be worse. Yeah. They're older. I mean, just because they're getting along, is that going to supersede the entire core being older and smaller?
When's the last time they lost in the conference semifinals, Larry? It's been you know what I mean? So it was already worse.
Yeah.
If you don't, you know what I mean?
But go back to last July. Where were we last July? Right? They're still cleaning up Market Street.
Yeah.
And we're like, and then
let's go.
Poole's going to be a year better.
I was saying,
and Wiseman, and this, that, the other, and then what we didn't know was that relationships behind the scenes were breaking down, and obviously then led to everything falling apart, and no, they could not get over it. And so, what's going on behind the scenes now? And how is this all going to blend? These are fair questions.
One of the things I thought we saw last year as a consistent theme was they had a hard time finishing. This year, I think they'll finish. It's just a matter, can they get to the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter with a lead?
And that road record was so bad.
Yeah. I mean, so.
And I don't know if it was because they were not connected.
Well, these are fair. To me, do they all blend? Do they have chemistry? Do they get along? I like Chris Paul.
So do you think Poole out of here now? Everything's good.
That helps, except for no, it's not. I don't think it's that easy.
That's what Steiny said.
Where's Kuminga on all this?
No, or Looney.
Where's his head?
Or Wiggins, who was real close with Poole.
And now Chris Paul is on the team, who you've all, not all, but some of you have publicly stated to not like prior to now. And because we want it to go well, I think we convince ourselves, we believe everything that we're being told over the last 2 weeks is no, it's all going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, it's not always all good.
Paul should make Kuminga better.
No doubt.
You're right.
No,
totally.
They should be smarter.
That feels safe.
I agree.
And
with that.
Dre, you can sit down with Steph, and you don't have to double up and run this. You can breathe and save yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think Paul could. Paul's going to be efficient, and Paul, I think, is going to set up
Larry,
Kuminga
if he
nicely.
gets hurt and he's not available, then what?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to
Pajinski?
it. You're listening to 95.7 The
Corey
Game,
Joseph.
KGMZ
Oh, there
FM,
you go.
and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Station. Pajinski?
Yeah, let me get this off my chest. The men in
Pajinski?
black. It's all three of us, and I'm naturally in black. But listen, when you talk NBA basketball, the common denominator for me, guys, and I'm a historian, is 82 games. It's precious. Bird played 82. Michael. We can go down the list. 82 means something to me. And I know people hate it's too many. The checks are cashing. If you look at these contracts, Van Vliet, everybody's getting their money. Larry, Willard, Steiny, please help me on this in-game tourney to where the championship game, the stats don't even count. Why is the league doing this?
Well, they think
I hate every aspect of it.
They think that this is going to create urgency and intrigue in the middle of the year where right now there's none. But I've got all kinds of questions. So many questions because, first of all, it's completely impossible to understand. NBA Communications over the weekend,
it
put out a grid, and there's a note at the bottom and says grid is to be read from I'm like, if you need to explain to me how to read this, I'm out. I'm not here for math class. These are basketball games. But beyond that, what I haven't, and I've tried to read as much as possible, what I have not found yet is something that we fans are supposed to root for other than individual millionaires making more money.
Steiny, bro.
Why am I supposed to care? I guess.
Wow.
Is my if Adam Silver was here, hey Adam,
what's in it for me?
Why are the fans supposed to care who wins the NBA Cup?
That's all.
Because it's a tough question. Because you're going to find that the players are into it.
Are they?
I don't know. You just said to present the argument.
The Bay Bridge trophy is going to be be more coveted.
Hey, if I'm a 10th man on a team, it ain't no joke.
Right, no doubt. But if I'm Steph or LeBron and I'm making...
Oh, my gosh, that's nothing.
You're going to go through some tournament to win a $500,000 prize. You make more than that per night.
I know.
And you're playing the chip in Vegas.
Right. So, and this is, Eve from last night on our Fox show, I thought had some really fun ideas with regard to what they could add to where a fan would care. If I'm Steph and the Warriors win the NBA Cup and I get a $500,000 check, where's that check going? Don't pocket that thing.
Oh, wow.
Play for someone or something, right? And for instance, this is just throwing something out there, but do you remember Deshaun Watson did this years ago when he surprised the women in the cafeteria with the Texans with a game check or something? And I mean, they're in tears, it's changed their lives. If Steph was okay, this is Joe. He's been running. He's been an usher here with the Warriors for 40 years, and I'm playing for Joe. So if we win this thing,
Come all in for that.
Joe wins $500K.
Or
And
a
now-
charity.
or a
Every
charity.
team has a charity.
But they're not doing that.
Or not yet.
Not
Like
yet.
Ephraim
Not
said,
yet.
what if you in these play-in games or whatever they're called, tournament games, what if a couple of sections in the lower bowl went to underprivileged kids and they filled up?
Who gets stuck with the tax burden on that?
Look, you know what? How about all of the people who are making the bajillions through this thing who already have it? Like, they got to know this. You're going to have something to root for other than yay.
But what does it symbolize if you do win it, though?
Nothing.
Like right now, if you
Nothing.
qualify for the play-in, Matt Steinman says you didn't make the playoffs.
See,
Those are the
that's
rules.
like-
I don't want to hear, we lost first round, but we won the cup.
But we like the play-in.
What cup?
We like the play-in, as it turns out, because I can explain what's on the line. Your team is now going to the playoffs.
See,
My favorite player won $500,000.
Right.
Does beyond nothing for me.
I'm shocked.
Nothing.
I'm actually shocked there's not the winner
Give me
of this
something.
tournament gets to move up one seed,
Right,
one
something.
spot.
Something.
If you were
Anything.
out of the
Incentive.
playoffs, you get to be the play-in.
Oh, man.
If you were 10, you get to be 9.
Like a
you have to flip
get out of jail free card or
man.
something. Something for the
It
fans.
might be kind of like I wouldn't
Like
be
if the-
averse to that.
If the NBA doesn't know this, they're crazy. And I'm just hoping that they threw this out there and let it marinate.
And what about the seeds
Let
already
it-
being determined from last year? I didn't know we was playing for no seeds.
I mean-
I would've fucking
How about
hoped
take
for it.
how about take a playoff team and put them in the draft lottery? That would be cool.
Relegation. We could. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
That'd be
No,
cool.
I
Suddenly
mean, you
you're a
can't-
playoff team. Now you got a lottery pick because you
and
won
the
this
Denver,
tournament.
can't
the
get
Denver
too
Nuggets
quirky.
select Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
but
France.
as you know, players are not going to play hard for their replacements. We've been through this
know.
before. So, like,
It's contrived because they want to copy the NCAA one and done, and
Right.
they're like, oh, look at that format. And these guys can't even play basketball. They can't even play dead, and yet everybody loves it and says how great it is. We'll do a tournament. But is it a one and done type thing? No, probably.
It's got it.
Yeah,
Again,
so-
I'm hoping that they just
missed
put it
the
out
boat.
there, let it marinate for 2 weeks, and then go, okay, by the way.
Back to the lab.
Not back to the lab. I wonder if they already know. Let it marinate, see what people say, but then here's what we're, because they offered nothing to the fan. And that's who supposedly they're trying to get with this. So it's just like,
Right. I agree.
I don't know.
I think this is just like a template. They know they got some time. They're
Plenty
going to
of
hear
time.
they're going to like this is their what's it called when you do something
Trial balloon?
yeah, basically.
It's
And you know
soft
this isn't the
launch.
final product.
soft launch. Did y'all see poor Steve Kerr when they made him go up on the
I
stage?
saw that.
Oh,
No, I
didn't.
I'm excited and I can't wait. And
Please.
and I'm like, oh my gosh. So boy, Steve he drew the short straw or whatever. He had to go out there and act like he's pumped up about this whole thing. Poor guy.
I got to give you this because I need help. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No. We've
No,
been having
you
a good
go.
show. We're in a good
I
spot.
got a meeting, you remember?
Okay, but you can leave. I
How
got
many
it.
Okay, then
meetings
just
do you-
hold on one
How
sec.
many meetings do you have?
I know. Hold on.
Lord.
Well, this
Hold
without
on.
me.
Hold
Is there a
on.
T involved?
Hold on.
You can stay, Go.
Yeah.
The job is done. We can go home now.
All right.
All right.
You guys have I got to
So-
meet with the
All
boss.
right. Go keep talking.
It's
I'll
bigger
switch
than
it.
Wembanyama. It's about Larry and Willard watching a movie in its first 2 minutes and saying what you think, how good the movie was. I was embarrassed as a guy that's on Twitter too much. I'm addicted. How can Wemby take all that hate? Because I could say he needs to get stronger, but the judgments that were being thrown around Friday night
When he had 9 points and 9 boards.
and they
or
were
whatever.
just taking the ball from him and dunking on him.
He's
I
weak.
was- okay. So some of the stuff you read was you feel like, hey, I seen enough to say he's weak, but it was over the top like he was a bust, and I was happy for him
I just
last
mean he's
night.
physically weak.
There's no
He's gotta
doubt
get
he has to
stronger.
get in the lab. But are you shocked at what social media, how they were like you just said he was weak, and he needs to get stronger foundation. But Larry, it was like this dude couldn't play. I felt bad for him.
Well, because we built him up only weeks before at the
okay.
draft as this guy is Steph Curry and Kevin Durant all rolled into one.
Already,
He's the
already.
greatest. He's
Okay.
the greatest. And you saw the pushback when they put that video out when he was wearing the Spurs jersey and he was bricking every shot. People were like, "What the heck? This guy, you know." But no, he's going to be great. It's just he's undersized. I mean, he's not undersized, but he's underdeveloped physically, and it's just going to take a little time.
When have we ever seen a guy? I think of Sean Bradley. Yao Ming was thick. He had tree trunk legs,
Yeah.
and that's why he had to. But physically, he wasn't too light in the tail. When have we seen a guy built? Because I was just watching him like, not Jurassic Park, because he's not. This is something I've never seen. Just when have we seen that guy go get enough? Because Wiseman hasn't done it yet. Bricks in the trunk to where, I'm coming back and then I'm going to be what I'm supposed to be. That's what concerns me.
I will say, if you ever see Kevin Durant up close, he's not thick. I mean, he is almost 7 feet tall.
Tiny little ankles.
Tiny little ankles.
Coming out of Texas.
Yeah, and I know that all those people you just brought up, including Kevin Durant, have had lower body massive injuries, and that would be an obvious concern with Wembanyama. But there's no way around it.
Okay.
That's where we live right now.
And
it's
there it is. That's where we live.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dame Lillard. I sort of like, I laugh that Dame, I think, is sensitive, and he's on Twitter all weekend going, how does everybody know everything and nothing at the same time? And I'm like, Dame, first of all, it dawned on me, you've never experienced controversy in your whole life. You went from Weber State to Portland, and you have never
instant success.
You have never been center stage in the actual.
Because now you are.
Right? Like the stuff that LeBron and KD lived in their entire career.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're here now, and you can't coin quotes like running from the grind and then request a trade
Paul
and tell
George
everybody.
called him out on that.
Right? It's got to be in one spot, and your agent is calling people, telling them you'll be disgruntled. You can't, I don't even necessarily blame you, but you're going to get it. Like, you're going to get what's coming to you on social media. You got to just deal with it.
Larry, what if I told you by him putting in that only Miami clause in his agent, and I love Dame, he really don't want to leave Portland?
Well, I mean,
why
he's
would
been
you
there
put that clause in there? Because now you kind of tainted the whole process.
Well, now that you undercut your own general manager's ability to get anything in return. Why is Miami going to town making a huge deal? If the NBA didn't have rules in place where salary had to be even, they'd be totally hosed.
The whole question for Dame and his agent is, why do we know this?
Right.
You can request a trade to Miami. You can demand that it's Miami, and you can do that all without telling Woj.
Right.
You don't need to tell Woj. Because now Portland is up a creek. And so that, this whole thing.
And the PR's a nightmare either way.
It's controversial. There must have been some chair throwing behind the scenes.
So it's taken forever and a day for him to request a trade. What I just threw to Larry about, maybe he don't really want to leave. Or you're like, nah, Goo, he wants out of there.
I mean, to me, you don't get to a public trade demand until the private conversations have not gone well.
He's stuck it out there for a long freaking time.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I actually know the girl who's his handler, and he's a terrific guy, man. He is a terrific guy. Seriously. No, I mean, I went to college with her. She handles all of his promotions and stuff. That Modelo commercial.
I think that's the thing.
He's a great guy.
I think he's probably a terrific guy.
But he wants to be in Portland, and if he can't be in Portland, he'd rather be in Miami. But he doesn't just want out of Portland, and he doesn't care where he goes. Get me the hell out of here. I think he wants to go somewhere better, or he'd rather stay in Portland.
Look, the bottom line is, this is what's funny, though. People will say Dame deserves to leave because Portland's been unable to put stuff around him. How the hell were they supposed to do that? He made them good enough so that they were usually not in the lottery.
And they played in the Western Conference Finals.
And no free agent will go there.
Right. And their initial construction was flawed with 2 6'3" guards.
Right. But, I mean, it's kind of like, Oklahoma City was great for a period of time because they crushed the draft 4 years in a row.
Man, loaded.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's not like they ever got anyone to go there. In fact, one by one, each of them have left. If you're in one of those markets, I don't know, man. There's very, very little you can do, and you have to strike while the iron is hot. And that's why, for instance, I love that the Kings are just let's be as aggressive as possible because you've got good young players. You've got a little something going there. I don't know if it's good enough to get all the way to the end, but it's not going to last because
it's Sacramento.
You're a massive free agent. If Giannis comes available, he's not joining you.
Right.
You're not coming.
And I do think there's something there, Larry, with Giannis. It ain't now, it ain't tomorrow, but it's coming.
That he's going to bail.
Yeah, I just think there's something. And that whole Steph Curry, that not to the Warriors, but that whole, he can say now, I've been loyal to you. I got to go. It's time for me to, fly the coop. So I'm watching Giannis to see how that plays out in years to come.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the unfortunate part about the NBA. The cap, they've got all these things to keep it even, but you can't convince somebody they don't want to, to play somewhere they don't want to play.
Can I get a baseball takeoff before I dip?
Go ahead.
So I'm going to summarize my version of the San Francisco Giants first half. Duck, another Giant home run. So, because they got power, and they got power all up and they had power all up and down the lineup. And that was one thing that I just loved it. Like, dude, they got dudes 1 through 9 that can go out the yard at any time. Injuries have happened, but our Evan sent out a tweet yesterday, and it got me to thinking, because for the last month and a half, I was even telling Dickinson, they need an arm. They need an arm or two. And he put out a tweet, are we so sure this team doesn't need a bat?
Oh, they definitely need a bat.
So I want to run that by you two. Larry, you're
anemic as hell.
Been there.
Yeah,
they definitely need a bat.
Oh, they need a bat.
Farhan talked about it over the weekend. They're not like he was like
second base bat.
Because I don't think that we're going to go get a starter. We feel like we've got that. The answer's there within. I don't know if they do. It's all wobbly outside of Webb and Cobb.
Wobbly.
But if certain guys start to get healthy again, if Harrison becomes ready, whatever, they think they've got that. He straight up said it up the middle of the infield, like Schmidt and Wisely and whatever. They're going to have a chance in these next couple weeks to show that they can produce, and if not, they're probably going to get sent back down to the minors, and they'll go acquire a second baseman or something, because Tyro's not going to be back till at least next month.
Hurt.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks for Tyro.
And Crawford obviously has not been great either.
And also the Giants have a little bit of their first half performance is kind of camouflaged by the fact they won those 10 in a row. The 10 in a row kind of took them from.
But you earned them, Larry. But I hear you.
I know, but it's like it might be a fool's gold. They may not be quite as good as the record. That 10 in a row definitely changed things.
I always wonder about stuff like that, though. Like we do this with records. It's like if we remove the best stuff that they did, then they're not that good. It's like, well, but what if we remove the worst stuff that they did? Then they'd be amazing.
But a 10-game winning streak is rare. They hadn't had one since 2004.
After that start, you're forgetting the good run of play before the 10-game win streak that happened. After that start to be 49 and 41, they did a good first half.
Man.
They did.
That's a good 90 games.
When they called up the kids performed, but then the advanced scout reports got around, and Schmidt's waters turned off, and Motto's waters turned off, and only Bailey's really keeping it rolling. Yeah. But hey, it'll be fun to watch second half.
I told Shasky I need somebody in my life to love me like you love and defend Schmidt. And I get it, because his glove and the arm, it's incredible. He's got a double cannon, whatever that is.
No doubt.
But at the end of the day, there's the term for a player for a reason if you can't get it done. I'm not saying Schmidt can't hit.
That ain't him.
Okay, so what is it, though? Because you should never send him back down then.
See Matt Williams in the night. It's just really hard. I mean, sometimes it takes guys 5 days. Sometimes it takes guys 5 years to kind of transition to the big leagues. I will say this. When you're an A-ball, AA, AAA, nobody's paid to turn off your water and to beat you. And the major leagues, as soon as you show that you're a force, there's guys making big bucks who are studying everything that you're doing.
I get that.
And whatever you pitch you can't handle, you get.
No.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah, they
So
knew.
you're not, are you worried about Schmidt at all?
No,
I'm not.
No, but I don't know that he's going to be on the team the whole year.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I think he'll adjust. I think it's just
I'm rooting for him.
He needs a couple days off.
The question with him has always been whether or not he could hit. They knew he could field. Can he hit?
The chase rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be over 50%.
Yeah, he's they knew this was coming, and you got to adjust if you're going to be a successful big league player. But I promise you, at 49 and 41 and sitting in one of the wild card spots,
my goodness,
they're not allowing an automatic out to stay in the lineup. He's going to have to produce more, or he's going to get sent back to Sacramento to work on it.
Because it's odd watching that offense the last week or two, like, this will be the inning. And it's like, oh, no.
Only
when did this happen?
Sable and Conforto are the only guys who are really putting a charge into the ball right now.
Yeah.
I'll be listening to you guys.
I'm a brother. Nice shirt.